Hey y'all, it's Becca. I am going to talk about something a little controversial today. And I am curious to see what the community thinks, especially those that have been following my journey so far. If you are new here, or just a little recap, I'm on my desk and it's causing a lot of bouncing. In any case, so I have been on a weight loss journey for a long time. Um, my highest weight ever was 320, and I'm currently 191. I did have gastric bypass back in 2016, um, and lost most of the weight through that. However, if I don't pay attention to what I'm eating, or do any kind of exercise, that weight creeps back up because I got back up to like 250 post surgery a couple years, like maybe, I don't know, maybe 4 years later, because I was just eating whatever I felt like eating and not working out. And the weight crept back on slowly but surely. And, it was 2021, I was back up to 250. And so I guess that was, what, 5 years later? So over the course of, it took me like a year to lose the weight, uh, to go from 320 down to 185. 185 is like the lowest they've been. And and then it took 4 years after that. And so that's where they came up with the 4 years. 4 years after that of just falling off the bandwagon, eating junk food, not exercising, not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And so I have, I gained weight back, right? I got up to 250. And then I went and got back on to keto. Well, really low carb, I wasn't tracking macros, so really low carb, and dropped the weight back off. I think it took me about 5 months to lose, to go from 255 to 54, something like that, down to 185. Um, and that was back in 2021. So, but I can't seem to break that number, the 185. I did it one time. I did what's called BBB and E, which is beef, bacon, butter, and eggs. I did that for 30 days and dropped down to 174. But that just wasn't sustainable for me. It was a lot of steak, and I had a lot of meat sweats, because it was too much fat content for my stomach to handle at one time. So it was a very uncomfortable time. I mean, my husband and I were doing it together. Well, he wasn't my husband at the time, but my husband and I were doing it together, and I wanted to give it the 30 days. I wanted to try it. It obviously worked. We did intermittent fasting at the same time, by the way, but it just wasn't sustainable long term, because of the gastrointestinal issues that I was having with it. That being said, I have done 75 hard multiple times, which, if you're unfamiliar with that program, it involves a number of things, but the big thing is two 45-minute workouts every day, at least 3 hours apart. So I've done that multiple times for 75 days each time. Uh, and I've done a lot of, starting and stopping 75 hard too, not just, and I've completed it the 75 days several times, but I've also done a lot of, 20 days here, 10 days here, that kind of stuff. In any case, so I work out. I eat healthy. I'm still low carb. I have tried carnivore, pure carnivore, and I got so angry. It almost cost me my marriage. And that was not a fun time. I did it for 2 months, and by the end of that, it was just like, no, um, I can't continue this. So, and I had been off of my medications for 6 months before trying it. So it had nothing to do with that. But I immediately went back to eating low carb, not just carnivore, and I got back on my medication. It's just been a night and day difference between how it was before. But in any case, so I can't seem to, on my own, get past this 180, 185 mark. I tend to fluctuate between 185 and 190 when I'm doing everything right. Exercise, working out, walking, eating low carb, not doing, much junk food, if any junk food at all. And so I talked to my doctor, and I also have some issues with like some extreme fatigue. Like we're talking, I drink most days. I've stopped drinking them right now because I'm trying to not do the sugars, the sugar alcohol specifically. But I would be drinking like 4 or 5-hour energies a day just to not fall asleep at my desk while I'm working. So I have some extreme fatigue issues. I went and got my blood work done. My iron is low. My TSH, my thyroid hormone stuff is out of whack. Not to any kind of extreme. Like it really doesn't, the doctor doesn't think it has anything to do with my fatigue issues. But in any case, so now I'm on Synthroid for the thyroid issues. So I've been on that for a few weeks now, and haven't really noticed any differences, to be honest. Maybe a little bit less caffeine needs than I was before, but it's not like a magic bullet type of thing. So, not that I think this will be a magic cure all, but I'm gonna give it a shot, quite literally. My doctor prescribed Zepbound, and Zepbound is a tirzepatide, which is a GLP-1 protagonist. So, and it also has something else in it. So, I don't remember what it's called, but and I wasn't really sure that I wanted to do this because of the controversy around it. But the more I researched, the more I really took a look at all of my symptoms, all of my, sorry about the shaking, all of my previous attempts to try and do this, even with gastric bypass, I never got below 185. So, like when I first started losing the weight after the surgery, the lowest I ever got was 185. And I'm 5'5". And while I do have, a decent amount of muscle, I don't know if you can see that, maybe a little bit. I still have a lot of, a lot of this is loose skin, but there's still a lot of I already had the skin removal on my arms. So this is still a lot of fat. So 185 is not my ideal weight. I'm thinking like 160, 165. So, I'm 191 now. So another 30 pounds is my guess. It's really going to depend on, a lot of factors. Like once I feel like I'm stable, I guess. So I get it tomorrow. I get the Zepbound tomorrow. It arrives tomorrow. I will have my first shot tomorrow, I'm assuming, unless the packaging tells me otherwise. And yeah, so stay tuned. I'm going to be talking about any kind of side effects I experience. Obviously, I'll be going through what is it called? Um, Victories, non-scale victories, scale victories, clothing victories. Um, so any progress that I make, I'll be checking in weekly on my night before my dosage day, which is Mondays for me. So that is the plan. Stay tuned. Obviously, if you have experience with Zepbound, I'm not talking about the compounded pharmacy stuff that is rampant right now. I'm talking about actual prescription from your doctor, Zepbound, tirzepatide. Leave your experiences below. I'd love to know more about, the good, the bad, the ugly, with what you have experienced yourself, and any tips or tricks or gotchas to look out for. That would be amazing to hear from the community. And yeah, I guess I will be checking in maybe sooner than next week, but certainly next week for sure. All right. See you guys later. Bye.